Got more tonight?
Just one more after you.
Right. Excellent. Yeah.
Good
Good
evening,
evening,
guys.
guys.
Hi,
Hi,
Susan.
Susan.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Hiya.
Okay.
Okay,
What are we
what are we
talking
talking
about
about
tonight?
tonight?
Well, we thought it might be a good time of the year. October coming into autumn, November, winter. Thought it might be a good time of the year to talk about goals and goal setting because many people maybe half-heartedly set goals at the beginning of the year. They maybe review them as resolutions and then they kind of drift away, particularly after the 12, 18 months we've had. They may drift away into sort of nothingness. And this can be a good time of the year to say, you know what, there's still 2 or 3 months left. So did I set goals earlier on in the year? What am I thinking about my goal setting? Are there things that I want to still maybe achieve or think about setting forward for the coming year? So it's a good time to maybe review, revise, reflect on any goals or goal setting we did at the beginning of the year or even now for as it stands.
Excellent.
Excellent.
The
The
trouble
trouble
is,
is,
at
at
Christmas
Christmas
time,
time,
we put
we put
ourselves
ourselves
up,
up,
generate
generate
comes
comes along,
and we
and
go,
we go,
right,
right,
we're going
we're
to
going
lose
to lose
weight.
weight.
So off
So
we
off
go
we
to
go,
Slimming
swimming
World or
world,
we
or we
do
do
other
other
classes.
classes.
By
By
March,
March,
probably,
probably,
we give up.
give up.
Well, that's the point I'm making, really, and I think when we make our goals a habit, they become less of a challenge. They become less onerous. They become less wearisome as we think about them. And I think it's important not to be too rigid with ourselves. So, there's ways of doing things that maybe give us a little bit of impetus, maybe give ourselves a little bit of generosity to sometimes fail or not do as we'd hoped and keep on track. So things like weight loss or exercise or getting fitter and healthier, sometimes it's a good idea to do it with a friend or join a group, as you mentioned. But the only problem with doing anything like exercise or whatever with a friend is it's great while they're on board. But if they get bored or fed up or the weather's cold and they can't be bothered and you look at each other and go, oh, let's not bother tonight, there's something on the telly or whatever, then that can demotivate. So I think and also joining a group or a club can be fab. Again, if you're doing it with somebody and they stop going, that might demotivate you. Or there may be people in the group that you don't like, or it may get a bit tedious or whatever. So it's important to set building blocks, stepping stones in place that are achievable for their own sake. So when you're setting a goal of any kind, whether it's a business goal, a personal goal, a educational achievement goal, what are the things that you can reasonably, realistically set for yourself? And that might be having, excuse the phrase, but bite-sized chunks where you're doing things that feel good. So you plan your meals, you think about what you can do every day. Perhaps if you eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, how can you manage those so you're going to have healthy options? Some people like to perhaps batch cook at weekends. So they've always got something in the freezer that they can whack in the oven or microwave and have a healthy home-cooked meal at a short notice, whether they have been working late or not. There's something there, it's readily available. Or they may have, the impetus to perhaps make a lunch for themselves the night before and take it with them to work. And so there are things that we can do that way. There may be a nice way of perhaps putting something in the oven to cook whilst you go for a walk or run, while it's heating up or cooking. And that might be a nice time to catch up with a friend or a partner and have a chat. Or it might be a nice time to have some quiet chilling time on your own where you reflect on the day. So there are things that we can reasonably fit in most of the time. But if we slip up, it's important to just say, okay, I can start again tomorrow or tonight. Same thing perhaps with when people used to stop smoking. They might have gone out, had a few beers, found themselves smoking away there and thought, that's it, I've wasted it all. You've not. You've just slipped up and had a couple of cigarettes. Did you enjoy them? Yes or no? Okay, done with. Let yourself off the hook. You can't do anything about it. Start again now and become a non-smoker again now. And these are ways of treating ourselves kindly and not wiping ourselves out if things don't go to plan.
Some of us have got big goals. And we can cut those big goals into segments, don't we?
Yeah, I think that's important because, I don't know, building your business, say you're going to sell it for £1 million in 3 or 4 years' time or something, might seem fantastic and you're highly motivated and you're on track and you're getting some fantastic contracts. But I've had clients who are sort of aiming to sell their business in a few years' time, and they're getting up at 4:30 in the morning and doing some meditation and then some yoga and then having a juice and then going wherever and then work in the office at 6 o'clock, 6, 7 and working till late at night. And there's not really an awful lot of joy in that. And if they've got friends or relationships, they're struggling or suffering. So sometimes I've floated the idea of perhaps taking a little bit longer. Enjoy the journey. Take your time. Maybe take an extra year or so and allow yourself evenings out and perhaps the weekend away and maybe a holiday or a walk with the dog or lying in bed in the morning with your girlfriend for an extra half an hour or something, and remember what it's all about, because it is important to remember that nobody said on their deathbed, I wish I'd worked longer, I wish I'd spent longer in the office. We don't do it. It's about quality of life, it's about challenge, it's about feeling good about ourselves. But those things need to link in with joy, fun, stress management, looking after ourselves too.
And also accountability is often important, isn't it?
Yeah, I think having sometimes if you've got goals and you have yourself a mentor or a coach or even a group on social media or the web or something, a forum that you link in with, a networking group perhaps, where you are linking in, and whatever your goal might be, where you're linking in with other people who are similar minded to you. So that's a whole thing about motivating each other, helping each other, because not everybody in your social circle might be on the same wavelength as you. You might well be setting goals and other people really don't care, or they're not that bothered, or I love you as you are, I don't mind if you lose weight, or I can't be bothered working as many hours as you do. Why do you do it? So sometimes we need to link in with a group of peers who may not be the same as us, but share a similar viewpoint, and we can talk about challenges, we can share that we're feeling a bit down or we're not motivated, and they're not going to say pack it in. They're going to be saying, let's talk about how we can get you back on track. And so coaches or a mentor or something a bit more general like a group of some kind can be fantastic for picking us up at those dodgy times when we're not really quite as enthusiastic as we may like to be under normal circumstances. And similarly, we can do that for them if we're in a group like that, where we're sharing, motivating, supporting, understanding, empathising and building each other up. And that's a really good thing to be able to do.
So how can we make our goals happen?
Well, I think a huge part is to identify the stepping stones for something that you're planning on doing. So whether it's learning a foreign language, whether it's building your business, whether it's losing weight, in whatever shape or form it might be, why are you needing to set this out as a specific goal or agenda for yourself? Is there a reason why it's not been automatic before? So what is your usual thing? If we're using the one you used about weight, what happens? Do you normally just come in the evening, at lunchtime, You skip breakfast, you just grab something at the local pie shop at lunchtime. On the way home, you might grab a burger or a takeaway or something, and it's easier and quicker, and you can't be bothered to cook. Has that become your default? Has that become your habit? And you can relate those examples to any other area of life too. And so identifying what's going on, what's been going wrong, where you're missing out to now, and then starting to think, okay, how can I change this? Again, coming back to the weight one, do I need to do a proper shop where I identify my menu for the week ahead? I might not eat what I, might say I'll do this on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Might change my mind, but at least I've got the ingredients in and I can do things, or I can batch cook at weekends, or I can delegate to somebody else to have the vegetables chopped and ready by the time I get home from work, or whatever it might be. So thinking of ways that you can build into your routine so that you do go for that walk or that run, that you do prepare your sandwiches the night before, or a salad or whatever it is you want to take with you to work, that you do have your clothes out ready for you in the morning so you can get up and dressed and shoot off and do a walk and get off the bus stop earlier and get a bit of exercise in. Whatever it might be, where you are stacking the odds in your favour, identifying stepping stones, and then within a relatively short time, 4 or 5 weeks usually, that those new decisions, those new choices have become a habit and they become part of your daily life and living.
It's making goals good for success.
Is making goals what, sorry?
Good for... Sorry, it's making goals good for success.
Making goals is good for success. Sorry, yeah, absolutely, because you are setting goals that build you up and bring. I mean, in lots of ways, they bring discipline into your life. They bring a positive mindset into your life. They bring focus. They bring intermittently successes. I think the thing about goal setting is that rather than just having that big goal of, right, I'm going to lose 3 stone, or I'm going to learn that language, or I'm going to have a business with 6 staff by the end of the year or something. Crazy goals that might seem a little bit highfalutin, which if we don't achieve, we feel a failure. I think if we build stepping stones in, those stepping stones bring a success mindset, because each stage of the journey, we achieve something. And if we pause and give ourselves some sort of recognition, we say, all right, when I get to that level, I'm going to have a weekend away, or when I get to that level, I'm going to go out for dinner with my friends, or whatever it might be, something that marks it for you and that you reflect and give yourself credit for what you've done, then each step of that journey can feel really good. And similarly, if things don't go to plan, not beating ourselves up, but treating setbacks as lessons, as opportunities to grow. And I think the truth is that when we have achieved goals that are a challenge, they are much more rewarding. They're much more, we smile and think, wow, I've really come a long way and I've really overcome some obstacles. And with your radio show, and most of us know that the times when we've had knocks and setbacks, they're the times where we feel exasperated and maybe wonder, is it worth it? But when we pick ourselves up and carry on, we feel really proud of ourselves. And I think those stepping stones give us a sense of achievement, accomplishment. We recognise our resilience. We feel good about ourselves. We feel that we're growing, and that's all part of being successful with goals. And those goals become a habit that are a joy for us, that make us feel good about ourselves. And that's when it really makes it all worthwhile.
Brilliant. How do you start a goal setting?
Well, I think you identify things that you would like to achieve, and then pare them down to individual units, individual items that you can have on a list. So let's say talk about perhaps growing a business. It might be, okay, I want to set up a salon, or I want to become a sole trader in a particular sphere. Okay, what do I need to do about that? Right, have I got all the skills that I need? What else do I need to bring on board? Do I need insurance? Do I want premises? Do I need training? What about social media? What about advertising? What about accounts? All these things that we may not have thought about, but then we bring them all in, and then we have to think of ways of saying, okay, it's all very well saying I want to become a sole trader and a business person in my own right, or I want to lose a load of weight, but what needs to happen to make those dreams, those goals, a more realistic part of every day? And so when we break a big goal down into something that is individual units, we can see them, we can think about what we need to do, we can explore and investigate, find ways to do that. And if we set ourselves a goal of delivering each of those things, say one a week or one a day or something, we can then start to build the profile, build what we were looking to have. So it might be spending 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the afternoon on social media, getting adept at it, promoting yourself, letting people know you're there. It might be writing articles, it might be going to network meetings, it might be getting signed up with a mentor of some description, or it might be joining some sort of group. There are lots of ways of bringing in something to make it more realistic, more achievable, more positive about what we're looking to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. What is the essential rule of goal setting?
What's the what, sorry?
The essential role of goal setting.
I think the essential role of goal setting is to have something that feels right for you. So it can be that we may set a goal that is somebody else's dream. We may set a goal, we might have a reason for losing weight. Other people, for example, may have said, oh, look at you, you need to be slimmer, you need to be skinnier, you need to be have a different look to be part of our group. And that might not be said verbally, but it might be implied in people's behaviour or the type of group of people that you're wanting to join. And it might be that you're looking at these people and thinking, well, to be part of this team, this group, I need to look a certain way or behave a certain way, but it doesn't sit right for me. And so when we are setting a goal that does feel right for us, that's going to motivate us on the down days. That's going to motivate us on the days when we're feeling a bit flat or unworthy or not as good as we would like to be. And so having goals that seem right for us, rather than doing things in a vicarious way where we're doing something because other people think we should or ought or must, and sticking with it then, because it is the dream, it is the zest for achieving something special that keeps us on track on the dodgy days, on the days when we're not feeling like it, on the days when we're not motivated. I mean, I know, for example, I do something every single day in my business. And that might be writing an article, it's going on social media, it might be just putting something out there, it might be planning something, it might be preparing for something. And most of us who feel enthusiastic about what we do are doing that out of love. We're not doing it because we want financial reward or because we're necessarily needing other people's feedback or whatever. We're doing it because we care and we're on board with it and it matters to us. And that's the type of goal that when you find that for yourself will inspire you and become a very positive part of your daily life and your daily living.
Yeah. So we set our goals. How can we make them happen?
By having some routine, by having some plan where you say to yourself, come rain or shine, even if I only have a few minutes, I'm going to do something about this. So as I say, it might be planning your meals if you're looking to lose weight. It might be organising some way that you get a walk in or a little bit of exercise that you say, I'm going to do that even if my friend doesn't turn up or even if my friend loses heart. I'm going to do something on social media. I'm going to include that in my life. It keeps you going when you're perhaps not feeling so inspired, and sometimes if we're not inspired, sometimes something crops up that we pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off and say, I'm not going to allow myself to be disheartened. I'm not going to allow this to fade away. I'm going to pick it up. Because even now, if you're looking at last year's New Year's resolutions. You've still got November, December. You've still got a couple of months, 8, 10 weeks to do something positive and inspired and carry it on into the new year. So be thinking now what is right for you and how you want to grow. And then, as I say, checking in with yourself, checking in every day, maybe keeping a journal of what you've done, maybe making lists of what you want to do and ticking them off as you go along. All these things can be ways of motivating, building them in, and enabling them to become an automatic part of your day-to-day living.
When we set our goals, and when we make them happen, what kind of achievement do we get?
Well, I think we get a lot of satisfaction. We get a lot of feeling of, well done you. We get a lot of growth. We may be looking back on, reflecting on the tough times that we went through to get there. So there's that sort of recognition for ourselves of saying, well done you, you overcame a lot to get here. And it may even be that our goals are a bit of an ongoing journey. So it may not be that we're necessarily going from A to B and then thinking, right, I'm here now, that's it. What happens next? Nothing. It may be that we have a journey, a goal that is an ongoing part of our life. And so we keep that discipline, we keep that habit where we are investing in our business every day, or we're investing in ourselves, or we're investing in our stress management, or our exercise, or a healthy diet. We're investing in all these things, and it becomes an ongoing way of life. And what's happened is that we are achieving, but there isn't necessarily always going to be an end result in sight. So for a lot of people, the goal is elevating your quality of life, but maybe throwing in a few things I particularly want to achieve something specific. You know, I want to specifically fit into a particular outfit for a wedding, or I may want to write an article and have it accepted by a particular magazine, or I want to hit a particular target in my business. Doing those things in themselves can be markers of feeling good that we've achieved some goals, but they may also be part of the ongoing commitment to the next stage of the journey, and you just enhance those goals and build on them and enjoy where they take you, knowing that every day in itself is a challenge, is a commitment, is a way to be enthusiastic about your life. And that's what goals often do. They bring some enthusiasm to achieve and feel good about yourself when you've done them, or feel good about yourself when you've worked through challenges and got there.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Every one of us in life has a journey. Every journey is different. Every one of us has goals in life. Sometimes we give up. But I'm telling you right now, never give up on your dreams, on your goals, or your life. Good night. God bless.